Well, hello and good afternoon for day two of my lives, 12 sales tips in 12 days. And today's subject matter is one that I get asked quite a lot about. It's about how we can hit the right notes when we're giving benefits to our clients. And that is something that's really important to understand the difference between features and benefits. You've maybe heard people talk about features and benefits before. So I'm going to do, again, these are meant to be very quick because I know that everybody's really busy. And so yesterday's was just under 15 minutes, so it was bang on timing. So we're going to keep these short and sweet. If you want to comment, you can comment when we are actually live. If you've got any questions that I don't get to answer when we are off the air, then I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. And also, please feel free, if you know of anybody that will benefit from these lives, benefit from these videos, then please share them after they've gone up on the various different channels that we're using. So today, as I say, we're going to be talking about hitting the right notes when describing benefits to customers. What tends to happen is that when people are going on to getting into that conversation with people, they get very excited about what they're talking about, and they veer off and start talking about all the fantastic features of the product. A really great story that I was told a few years ago was the story of a founder who basically locked themselves in a room for 9 months to build this fantastic piece of technology that was going to really help people and revolutionize people's lives, they thought. And what actually happened was that they spent those 9 months refining and developing this, never speaking to any customers, never doing any research. And then when they went to launch it, it was a big flop, as you can imagine, because actually there was nobody out there that needed that or wanted that. And he just wasted 9 months of his time and probably the expenses of creating this piece of technology. So the way we hit the right notes when we're describing benefits is to clients is we need to do a bit of research. So whether that is you do the research, whether if you're about to launch or you've not launched yet, or you're new to the market, then make sure that you go out and do some research. So for myself, what I did here was I'd already identified there was a gap in the market. I could see when I was out networking with people, they really struggled when it came to selling. They didn't want to feel that uncomfortable feeling. They felt they were being icky when actually me as a customer had shown an interest in their product or their service and had asked them about, tell me a little bit more about this. I'm really interested in buying this. And you'd almost see the light shut off in their eyes, which was just such a shame. And it was because they felt icky and uncomfortable about selling. So that's where I saw there was a gap in the market. So that was my opinion. But I needed to test my opinion. And so what I did before I launched is I created a survey. At the time, I created it on SurveyMonkey. The free version allows you to ask 10 questions, but what I tend to use these days is Google Forms. I have a Google Workspace account, so just use all of that. Google Forms is great because you can ask as many questions as you want. However, in the early days, I think you want to try and keep it quite succinct, and you want to ask the questions of, this is something I'm thinking about doing. Do you see there being a need for this? How do you think this could benefit you in your life, your business? And really ask those key questions, because you want to get back the feedback. Your hope is that you'll get, oh yes, absolutely, this will be perfect for me. What I found from my survey, I sent it out to about 100 people, and it was it was kind of 50-50. 50% of people were saying, no, I'm fine with selling, I don't have a problem with it, it's something that I found really easy. But then there was the other 50% that were like, oh my god, I absolutely hate it, I would love it if there was a way that I could upskill and improve my selling skills. So I knew then that I had a market, so that I was going down the right track. So then I launched my business. If you're an established business and you've been going for a while, it's still really worthwhile speaking to your customers on a regular basis, because if you can actually get their real voice, their natural voice, to tell you what it is that they have, how your product or your service has benefited their lives, then that should help take away that ickiness again when you are selling in rabbit ears, inverted commas, because from deep down and from the heart, I'm all about selling with heart, from the bottom of your heart, that you have helped somebody. So this is great. You'll get customer testimonials. Hopefully, if you've given them a fantastic service, they'll reach out to you anyway and tell you how great it is. But if that isn't something that's happening, or you haven't heard from customers for a while, then make the time to create a short survey, or you can go into a lot more detail. I know a friend of mine who has a business, she does an annual survey every year, and it asks lots and lots and lots of questions. And what that does is it builds up a really fantastic picture of who her customer is. So again, for when you're thinking about who is your ideal customer, that's a great way of doing that. But it also gives her those real sound bites that she can use in her marketing, and she can use when she's having those sales conversations with people. So she can go back out to people and say, well, I know that this product works really well for my customers because they have told me that it does this, this, and this for them. So likewise for yourself, go out there and ask those questions and really make the most of those real world voices telling you how you are benefiting people's lives. So if you're a photographer, I've gone out there, the photographs that you took of me, I was really nervous about having my photographs taken. You made me really feel at ease. You have produced these amazing visuals that I can use across all my social media, in all my marketing, so you can get some real sound bites from people. It could be, if you're a VA, you've taken, oh my goodness, you've taken the headache out of my life. I know that, if something's going to happen, it's in my diary. You've told me where to go. You've told me what to do. You've produced the documents I need to take to that meeting. So you're rather than it just saying I take the headache out of your business life, you can actually build those really beautiful stories. And that's something that I do talk about as well in selling. It's really great to tell stories, and it helps bring it to life in people's minds. I'm definitely a visual learner, or audible and visual, so I need to hear those stories. I don't want to hear all the facts and the figures and the data. That's not me. But there might be people that works really well for. But if you can wrap that all up into a story, even if you have got data in there, people are going to remember it much in a much greater amount than if you just present the data. So having those real world stories is a way of presenting those benefits to your customers, and will stop you, because we tend to get into the habit of thinking I've got to tell everyone about what it can do for them, whereas what "Oh, it's got this gadget and it does this for me and it does that for me." At the end of the day, you might not work, as a customer, you might not use everything that this particular product or this particular service will offer you. For example, I use a digital platform, and it's all singing, all dancing digital platform, but I only use, I think it's got 18 elements to it, and I think I probably only use 3 or 4 of those elements. That's all I need. I know that if I scale my business and grow my business, then they're going to be there for me, but at the moment they're benefiting me, that just these 3 or 4 items that are in this digital stack for me. So we need to think at the end of the day, I'm sure you've heard this before, but as a customer, what's in it for me? And we need to bring every conversation back, every sales conversation we have to have. It's not about getting that sale, and it's not about getting the money in. It's about what it will do for the customer. How are we serving that customer? So that is what the benefits do, is that really helps to illustrate to the customer what it is that you're doing to help them. And that's what we want to do at the end of the day. So it's all about what's in it for me as the customer. We need to go back, look at our strategy, look at the work that we did when we were starting our business. Are we still on that same track? Or is it something that we need to revise? And then that's again where that doing that customer survey is a really good idea, to make sure that we are still on the same track. Or do we need to pivot our business slightly because of things that have changed? So for example, during the pandemic, at the start of the pandemic, a lot of businesses had to do that really massive pivot, and there was some really radical changes that people made. For me, it was I went online and was delivering training online, and now I do I do a hybrid. I love presenting in person, but I also love to do the online part of my work. So that is, a survey that I've done is, what do people prefer, and making sure that I am still benefiting my customers. So that is today's top tip for helping you thrive in 2023. And I hope it's been helpful. I hope it gives you a little bit of a nudge. It might be something that you've done in the past and you've just not really given it much thought this year because you've been busy. But so maybe now is the time, kind of December. So all those product-based businesses who, the last posting dates are going to be this week, I think, because of the postal strikes. So you might have a little bit more of downtime where you need to recover, look after yourself, but maybe use that time to think about, right, I'm going to start the new year and ask my customers, what is it that they want from me, and how have I benefited them over the last year? So that's a great piece of marketing, isn't it? Going into 2023, look at how I helped all these people in 2022, and hear their voices. So I hope that was helpful for you today. Please remember, if you want to, I've got an ebook that I'm giving away. So if you want to go to that link and have a look at that ebook, that gives you a few more hints and tips about selling, and selling in a smarter way to help you thrive. If you've got any questions that you want to ask me that I don't get to, then please do reach out to me at moira@moirabarnes.com. And as I said at the beginning, if there's anybody else that might benefit from hearing these tips, then please feel free to share the video with them. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about how to spot that your customer is ready to buy. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and I hope you're all having a great, not tomorrow, it won't be tomorrow, it will be on Monday. So yes, I'm not going to work on Saturday and Sunday. So I'm coming live to you every working day between now and Christmas. So it will be Monday. I'm forgetting it's Friday. So have a great weekend. Thanks very much to everybody who joined me today, and I shall hopefully get back to you in the comments later on. Take care. Thank you.